you? Look into my eyes.
Look into my eyes. Look deeper into my eyes. Keep looking. I'm communicating with you. I'm trying to tell you something very important. Very important, don't you know? I like art. All right, let's get it. Woo! Yeah! I say that every week. Never gets less true. We're back. It's me. It's you. And we're back. We're back. Gotta listen. And this guy too. Hey, if you watch the next episode, the last episode, I named that guy something. I forget. I don't know, man. But it's always fun to be here with you on a Wednesday night. Making the best of our time. Having a chuckle or three. And tonight, I'm glad you joined me. Because I invited one of my favorite people in Tampa, Florida to join us on the show. And we will get to that momentarily. But without any further ado, you already know what it is. .com Doom, we got rules in this land. So, every week we got to review those. Rule number 1. Do not, please, do not be a butt.
Don't do it. 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 Don't! Because if you're a butt,
then fill in the blank, Mad Libs. Mean adjective, Mad Libs. Put it in the chat. If you're a butt, then you're a blank. Mean adjective. Alchemist in the YouTube chat. Blows up pancakes with mind in the YouTube chat. Mia makes it in the YouTube chat. The fam's all here. Really glad y'all got to tune in last week. It was a very special episode with a very special person. The one who has the only key to my heart. Please don't lose it, Mia makes it. I don't have her a spare, okay? I need that key to my heart. But those are the rules. Don't be a butt. Rule number 2. Keep it PG-13 in the chat, y'all. My mom watches this show. Want to make her proud. Rule number 3. Please respect others. You gotta do it. We're all different, but that's what makes us beautiful. Coming together in harmony, sharing our different experiences and backgrounds, and learning from each other, and being respectful of those differences. I want to know, chat. You know I want to know. Who is your favorite living, right? Don't need no Van Gogh up in here. Living artist. If you have an artist, and they're your favorite, throw them in the chat. And we'll take a look at that. They could be a local person to your town, village. They could be your favorite Instagram person that you've never met and might not ever meet. It could be Andy Warhol's grandson. I just made that up. I don't know if that's a real person. Don't look it up. I have no idea. But if you have a favorite artist or a couple, the more the merrier. Throw them in the chat and we'll take a look. And per the usual, if you have a picture of your pet, I want you to let us see that pet. And you can do that by emailing us here, .comdoom@gmail.com. We got the address, y'all. No competition for .comdoom@gmail.com. The bottom of the barrel is still there. But send us an email, attach a photo of Whiskers or Fido, and we might just take a look at them toward the end of the show. I'm thinking tonight will be a short but sweet episode because my guest is tall but sweet. They're a tall but sweet person. Yeah, so it's opposite day. Wednesdays are opposites day. Show's going to be shorter, perhaps. I always say that. It's never true, but I'm going to make it actually a concerted effort tonight. So keep posting your things in the chat. We got Wolfgang Leib. Probably mispronouncing that. That's my thing. I'll ask Emiliano soon if they're familiar with that name in the YouTube chat. But Gustav Klimt, yes. Cherry Samba. Keep them coming. Someone said Jack Stauber. And this person actually showed me Jack Stauber. They make kind of cool videos and songs that are kind of like internet creepypastas, but they're great. I love them. Oh, the names are rolling in. We love this. Keep them coming, y'all. Stay inspired. Keep throwing your names in the chat. But with no further ado, I'm going to make a couple of sound effects, get out of my system before I put on my interview hat. Who let all these sound effects out? Yes, it's time to invite back to the show for the very first time our very special friend, Emiliano! Woo! You are live, my good friend. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
I am feeling greater than I've ever been in my whole life, and you can believe me or not, but it's the truth.
I'm honored. I will take full responsibility for that.
Yes, carry me carefully, okay? I'm very vulnerable right now. I've never felt this good, and if I feel less good... No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know how I would finish that sentence. More Mad Libs for the audience. But I would not be a good friend if I did not point out that you have a very cool space behind you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And part of that cool space is a stool coming out of your noggin.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were like on death's door. I didn't know if that was stuck in there, but I think you'll be fine.
Just this emitter.
Is that sculpture?
It is a little bit of sculpture. Yeah. This, it's sculpture. It's a riff on a Marcel Duchamp piece, ready-made.
Nice.
I don't know how much you want me to talk about what's going on in here or not, but...
Oh, yeah. Here, pop quiz. Who's that artist? Who made that Duchamp parody piece behind you, the inspo?
Yeah, this whole gallery is full right now with a solo show by Raheem Fitzgerald on Instagram, Abstract Poet. So he's a St. Pete local artist, has a studio in the factory, super cool, excellent to work with. Definitely one of my favorite living artists at the moment. So
nice. I see. I love the little tie together there. I made the audience there some questions, and you're like, as a matter of fact, I'm honored that the art behind me, some of my favorite artists in the land. So that's really cool. When's it on show until?
This show will be up until the 29th. So we have a week from Thursday. There'll be multiple opportunities before then to see it.
Nice. Well, I haven't been in there yet, so my friend, I'll see you soon. Please leave the light on. But how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, honestly. Been walking on air the last couple months. It's been a good time. I'm trying to enjoy summer. Summer's here. Today's the first day of summer, I believe, summer solstice. So, I've been telling people I'm trying to have a big beach summer, and I've been to the beach at least like once a week since like the beginning of May, and kind of been a different beach every time too. So I'm really just I'm living right now. I'm trying to do it all.
Nice. Hot beach summer, if you will. It's very hot out there.
It's super hot, but we like it. We're from Florida,
I know, our reptilian skin the UV, the radiation just tickles our scales. It just feels right.
Yeah.
But I want giving you the very big, weighty responsibility of telling the good people. Let's assume everyone in the chat doesn't know diddly squat about what you are. I meant to say who you are, but what you are. We'll get that deep tonight too, perhaps. Where are you? Where can the people find you? What are you doing? Give us the elevator pitch so that we can know who you are and where we can check out your cool work before we dive into the interview questions.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Well, I guess to just reiterate again, my name is Emiliano DoCA. I'm an artist, local artist in Tampa, and independent curator and founder and director of Department of Contemporary Art, Tampa, Florida, which is the very funnily small room given the very authoritative name that I gave it. But It is this room that I'm in. I'm the king of these four walls, and I select artists and curate artists into this room, and sometimes throw events, and sometimes throw dance parties, and sometimes I'm a little bit working outside of this room, and always ever expanding what I tend to offer. But yeah, Department of Contemporary Art, Tampa, Florida is not only this room, but like the project of me being like a curator and art resource to the area. So I like to kind of put my Thor hat on and say that Department of Contemporary Art is a people, not a place. But you know, we're also you know, in this building. This is the Crest Building in Ybor City, 1624 East 7th Avenue, right in the thick of it, next to Centro Ybor, directly adjacent to the Habibi hookah lounge. So if anyone is coming down to Ybor for hookah, you can also pop up to the gallery. We're on the second floor. It's not just me, but there are multiple galleries on the second floor of this building. Soon there will be the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts on the ground floor of this building. There are multiple artist studios and shops, and even like a make your own jewelry store on the third floor of this building. So the Crest Building is really ever expanding, growing, and really just becoming a super awesome place. If you like art, you can visit my gallery. You can visit, you know, 8 or 9 other art galleries. Tempest Projects is up here. There's a micro cinema, so there's like a 38-seat tiny theater that you can come watch like super awesome cult classics, indie films, new stuff, old stuff. If you want to rent it out for the night, you can do that and bring your own stuff too. Like everything, there's something for everyone here at the Crest, but especially if you like art, because that's what I like. So that's what I do.
Emiliano, I'm saving up my pennies for the Stanley Kubrick Marathon in the Screen Door Cinema. I didn't know you could book that space. That is so cool.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Nice. You said something that moved me, and I wanted to share it because I think it's bumper sticker worthy.
Okay.
Come for the art, stay for the hookah.
Okay. Whoa. The
hookah. I just realized that the sound that you and I are hearing is glitched out the whole time, but for them it might be slightly different. And I'm just gonna leave that echo rolling for like minutes. I'm glad I had that thought now and not in minutes. Like, let me clean out my voice before I continue this interview, because you would have just been like, I don't know what the hell you just said, dude.
Well, you know, we'll see.
No interview like a Doom interview, but thanks for letting us know about you a little bit. Now time to know a lot of it about you. Chat. If you want, send your questions for Emiliano in the chat, and I will pay attention sometimes, and I'll try to get them all to the man, the myth, the legend, legendary innkeeper of the Department of Contemporary Art. Thank you, Tampa, Florida. There it is. But you throw your questions in the chat. I'm going to throw some questions at his face. Emiliano, any famous last words?
No, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you. I'm also excited. Question number 1, the burning question that's on all of our hearts and minds. We just gotta know. How many chickens are in Ybor City?
Oof, that's a good question. I would say it's somewhere in the ballpark of like, I don't know. I'm guessing probably like 264 would be my guess. If we had them all wrangled up in a giant jar at like the state fair and I could win a prize, that would be my guess. But I think that's illegal because they are protected under some law. So like, I don't think we can wrangle them and put them in a jar. But if we were to do that, I would put it somewhere in like the 200 to 300 realm. Although there's more all the time. Like where I park most days, there's like a little family that keeps seeming to keep growing. So, you know, I say good morning to them and we all have a nice time. It's like I'm watching these little things grow up. It's very cute. And so there's more every day, but I think probably like between 200 and 300, I would say.
When you said 264 as a very pointed, specific estimate, my brain auto-corrected to 365, and I was like, damn, we got one for every day of the year.
Got a
That is
chicken.
that is the fun fact to Beatmore City. But I hope, have you named the chickens that you see on a regular basis? Are you that attached?
I definitely have not named them, but I do say good morning to them, and sometimes they respond. I get a little call back most of the time.
They scream at you in their cute little cuddly delicious way. Delicious because they make eggs, by the way. I don't eat meat, so like, please don't come for me, chat. But that's cool. A very good answer. You didn't bust over, you just put a number out there. That's what I wanted. There's a guessing contest, and the person with the closest count wins a chicken. So
They're very own. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Very cool. I'm kind of curious, being someone who you have the responsibility, really, the regular 3 to 4 weeks you're cycling the art that is in your kingdom behind you, your room. How do you learn about new art online? And maybe that question is loaded in that a lot of the process isn't online. Maybe it's word of mouth, it's networking. But as this being an online variety show, I guess I'm also curious, in the modern age, with all of our apps and all of our websites and all this, how do you learn about new art online? If you stuff that excites you, people you might want to reach out to or connect with, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I have to confess, I am not like a super online person.
Yeah.
There was a time where, like, do you remember the website Stumble Upon, where you could just go and like click a button and it would just take you to a random website, and most of the time it was kind of cool.
I do.
So like that was when I was probably like the most on the internet, and now I feel like the internet is just like social media, and social media shoots you to whatever like you end up seeing, and you follow links or whatever. But so I definitely learn about artists that I'm gonna work with. I do that mostly just by going to like events. And I guess I hear about events through social media, so that's like where the internet comes in. But yeah, at this point, I mean, I've been an artist slash curator in the community for 8 years at this point. My first solo show, like publicly, was in 2015, in May 2015. So yeah, it's been 8 years now, and because I've been almost always like not just working on my projects, but an avid like consumer and enthusiast of what's going on around me. I've come to know like a lot of people, and I keep up with people's projects. And if I know somebody that ends up working with somebody, then chances are, at some point down the road, I'm going to end up working with that person as well. And the community is still small enough and like manageable enough to network around that, like, everybody's only a degree or two separation from each other. So following someone on Instagram, it's like inevitable that they're going to post a flyer for some show that's going to be, 70 artists deep, or not even that many. But if everyone is in shows together or doing events with other people, eventually I come to know everybody just through like networking. I guess that's how social media should be working. Like, that's the ideal version of it, but there is like a lot of distracting stuff too, that you have to filter through. But like, it's just like anything, you got to train the algorithm to like give you the things that you want, because otherwise it's just going to give you all like the garbage that like, your vices and subconscious, like, it's bad and horrible. So
are you on TikTok per chance? Have you even downloaded that app to see if
not.
it would? Okay.
No, I have not. I probably should. People tell me I should, but I think I would just get into like a TikTok hole and probably never leave my toilet, because that's where I usually am scrolling. But yeah.
I say that because you mentioned the notion of like training the algorithm to work for us, really, because at first glance it's like, oh, you're a 20-something male, here's some garbage I think you'll like. Mia Makes It, their TikTok algorithm I would pay money for, because it is really funny, it's educational, it's informative, It's local to an extent. And when I downloaded the app because I saw what worked for them, I was like, oh, that's cool. I think I will give this a shot. It's so bad. I don't have the patience to train that app to like know what I care about and want to see. I gave up on it. So I'm sorry, that's not encouraging. I know everyone says you should get on that app, but for my 2 cents, it takes patience and time if you want to really trim the bush to really look like a nice topiary TikTok masterpiece.
Yeah.
But
And I would say, like, I've had my personal Instagram, which is not even that personal. It's public too, but because I'm an artist, so I want that to be public. But I have the Instagram that I have been like on for like years and years, and then I have the department Instagram that just started last year.
yeah.
And I much prefer the explore page on the department because I'm only following artists. I'm only like looking at art related things. So like that is like my beautiful garden that I tend to, that like gives me all the wonderful like actual eye aesthetic candy that I want to consume. And then like if I want garbage, I have my explore page on my like Instagram, personal Instagram.
Nice. We got the junk food and the vegetables, and I love the vegetables. They're colorful, they're beautiful, they are art. And man, every once in a while I gotta tip my toe in the junk food lake.
If I need to know what's going on in like WWE, I have my Instagram for that. But if I need to know what's going on like at the museum, it's gonna be the department.
We did it, chat! We got out the Emiliano fandom. It's WWE. Now we know. Thank you for exposing yourself and being vulnerable with us. I don't think any of my other questions would have elicited that, but that's really awesome. I'm sure. I think most of, what am I trying to say? All the people in my life that I've met that are really into wrestling are some of the best people I've ever met, as a matter of fact. Like my mentor in my college years was super into wrestling. I love that guy. So I played some of the wrestling video games when I was a kid. So I'm like secondhand. And also Hulk Hogan's from Tampa, or he went to USF, even though he's kind of a bum these days and has said some less than stellar things about other people. Like, he was from here, you know. So
He broke rule number 2, right? Yeah.
Should have kept the PG-13, and he was definitely a butt. He broke 2 of those rules.
He broke all the rules, probably. Yeah.
It's banned from the show, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Unless you apologize and are nice, maybe we'll have you come on and you can do your YouTube apology and the internet will forgive you. Here on .com Doom, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be sick, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go from you, and then the next guest will be Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And I might not need you to host that show because I don't know anything about wrestling.
Let me tell you, brother. And I'll be like, let me tell you, brother, okay? Let's not. We got rules here, all right?
Oh, man. He's like, I'm going to give the rules the chair. I'm going to play cage with the rules, whatever the wrestling terms are. I don't know. But that's awesome. Awesome. We have a couple of questions in the chat that I'll toss your way before I commence with the ones I wrote down on my scribbles. Someone wants to know, Emiliano, this is from The Alchemist on YouTube. I don't know if that moniker means anything to you, but it's a cool name. They said, what is your favorite medium to work with? Is it the same as your favorite medium to enjoy? When did you get started making? So kind of a 3-parter. Favorite medium, is it the same as what you like to look at? And when did you get started?
That's super hard. That's super hard because I can't say that I have like a go-to medium anymore.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, if I have an idea, I just seek out the best way to communicate that idea. And sometimes that's a painting, sometimes that's sculpture, sometimes that's a photo or video. Like right now, at the moment, I'm probably making more like photo-based work. But like I'm about to be making like a more robust installation, and that's, I guess, technically sculpture, falls into the realm of sculpture. So yeah, I don't have any really good answer for that. It's like my favorite medium is the one that's gonna help me do the idea that I have in my head. So yeah. Okay, and what were the other parts of that question?
Yeah, so the first part, which you kind of spoke to, what's your favorite medium? And then also, if you picked a concrete answer there, it's concrete. My favorite medium is concrete. If you picked an answer to that, do you have a preferred art that you enjoy consuming or like looking at in a gallery space? And then also, how long have you been making art?
Okay. Let me. So let's see. I'll answer the third question before I answer the second question. But
Yeah.
I've been making art. I mean, most artists will say they've been making art like forever, but I think I started being serious about it like in high school. So that was probably 2011, 2012, when things were like, oh, people are starting to recognize me like as an artist. So I think like when that shift occurred, that's probably when I would say, okay, now I'm making art. I'm not just, you know, doing a little drawing on my book report. This is a piece now. I'm making decisions to make. So I don't know. I guess that's 11 years, 12 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a few more years than I've been actually like actively, publicly like an artist, curator, person.
Hey, your art career, your Emiliano trademark patent pending persona, your artist life is almost a teenager. Congrats on that.
Almost, yeah. Growing up in the world.
Oh, just yesterday. Yeah, you're gonna get the mama bird syndrome, empty nest.
Yeah, just yesterday I had hair, and it was.
Oh,
Um,
man. Hey, I really dig your due, for the record.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So art I like to consume. I mean, I have no good answer to that either. I'm probably like a bad interview guest because I'm way too. I live in the gray areas. I have no like concrete, as we were saying, concrete like way of looking at the world. So
Concrete
I'm like,
is very gray.
it's exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I mean, I'm more just like my favorite type of art is art that's going to teach me something. That's my criteria for what makes good art. I've said that in other videos and interviews and things, but I like to be able to show up to somewhere that is, a venue for art, whether it's a museum or a gallery or a bar or a coffee shop that has invited someone to put something on the wall. And if I can find something in that piece of art that tells me a little bit more about, if it's a painting, if I learn a little bit more about painting because whoever the artist is made certain decisions that I would have never thought to make, or if it's a photograph and I'm just wowed because whoever the artist is put together this composition and found the perfect shot and knew exactly what settings to put it on to make me feel something. Like I love that too. If it's if I'm going to, like, for instance, the micro cinema and there's a film that like really speaks to me, like if I know something, if it teaches me a little bit more about the world, then I'm a big fan of it. So I like to consume stuff that is going to deepen my understanding of like people and the world around me. So that's not really a medium so much as like it happens when it happens. And that's when I know I like it. And I can kind of guess, like I can guess if I'm going to, really attach myself to something just based on the interest that I have already. But, I definitely love being like wowed and have unexpected experiences with art. So,
Emiliano, I want to give you a blue ribbon. I'm going off the script here, and I'll follow up with a question. I think in my however many years having a appreciation for art and trying to go to at least a couple shows a month even, I think you're one of the funniest artists I've seen, as well as having a personal message and conveying other things. A lot of your art really makes me laugh, if not chuckle, and really appreciate spinning art into the concept of like making yourself a product and how do you market yourself. And man, just scrolling down your Instagram feed too, like the art that you've shared there, there's good comedy there as well. So I guess I want to ask, do you like or appreciate art that also is kind of lighter or funnier, or do you actually appreciate art that has more gravity or is like less funny, I guess?
Yeah. I think that like comedy or humor in general is one of those things that it's kind of like the quickest way to learn something and like the quickest way to break through. So I have an appreciation for comedy, but no, I'm horrible at this because I have no real answer because I
That's
just,
okay.
I enjoy everything. I like to tell people that like, it's not possible for me to be cool because I like can't discern. Like I have no, pretty much anything. If I commit to like looking at it or paying attention to it for more than a few minutes, I'll be able to find something I like about it.
Yeah.
Or I'll be able to like justify me standing in front of it for a while because I just like art in general. Like I mean, there's a reason why I'm like doing what I'm doing and I am who I am. But, I feel like my experience with art is that like, I'm just like a sponge. Like I want to soak it all up, and it makes it hard for me to be like, oh, who's your favorite artist? Like, I can't tell you that. Like, what's your favorite medium? I'm not really sure because I'm just like, this is all great. And I want to have a connection to all these things because I just want to like be in the know and like know what this world is about. I'm very much still like a newborn baby in a way, just in awe of a lot of things that I see. So like, I'm just open to experience, I suppose.
That's my newborn baby impersonation. No, thank you for your answer. It's funny you said, "Oh, I feel like I'm doing it bad." You're doing awesome, but you said if these types of questions I might like not give you a direct answer to, deletes the rest of the interview. Actually, I told you before the show, I don't really have like an art background. I don't know about art history or theory necessarily, so most of my questions from here on out aren't really about that. So that makes me feel okay about this interview, actually. So, and thank you for taking those questions from the chat. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Speaking of which, real quick, I'm going to cut to this view. We'll still hear you, Emiliano, but I wanted to tell people tonight, our artist friends out there, if you are an artist or if you wanted to ask us a question to Emiliano, we might be able to do the phone calls tonight. Every once in a while, there's a little tech funny sitch where I can't get it to work. But if you want to call in and we can see if it'll work, that's the number right there below. But otherwise, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. All right, we're back. I'm going to do Emiliano. So far, you are running your own space. That's awesome. As I understand it, you had a lot of really valuable experience before you started this project, that you were the CEO, El Presidente, leading all of the charge for the room behind you. It's all you. If you don't put in the work, something might not happen. A lot of it falls to you. Now that we've established that, what are the most unexpected challenges with opening and running this space? Like, I think you had so many of the skills necessary to do it. I've seen your resume. I know you worked with Mia Makes It somewhere before this, and you did a lot of the work. So with all that said, what are the most unexpected challenges or things that came up that are like, dang, this is actually really kicking my butt right now. This is super hard.
I think obviously like navigating the bureaucracy side of everything, having to go through like city government, county government, even federal government, state government, having every level of like the government want something or like require something of you, but they don't tell you that. You have to like find out through some weird circumstance that I have to send this form and like they just want some shakedown money and okay, sounds good. So that part is but I can't say that's really unexpected because I kind of expected as soon as I had like a public business that was like actually like a legitimate business, I expected that I would have to do that stuff. What I didn't expect was it to be like so incredibly like hidden and a little bit obtuse and like esoteric knowledge that is not just, there isn't just a website to be like, do all of these things if you open a business in this like county right now. Like that would be great if there was one website and had all the links and like had a full breakdown. But so yeah, so cobbling together like how to actually proceed and make sure I'm not going to get arrested is like a big one. But yeah, otherwise, like the most unexpected, there was actually like, I will keep it PG-13, but there was a couple Sundays ago where like, maybe you saw it, I put on the story of the department Instagram, like only use the lobby door today. And this was a Sunday, so it was right after a Saturday night of partying. We're in Ybor City. But there was just like a giant poo right in front, like right in the like doorway, not inside, but it was still on the outside, but like just and yeah, so I stopped and took a picture of it, and like people that were walking by were like, what the hell's going on? And then like they would smell it and look and be like, oh my goodness, like, you know.
Was it an artful poo?
It looked like, okay, I knew it had to be human.
Yeah.
Because it was humongous, but because it was humongous, it was like, this like was a dinosaur in Ybor. I don't understand how this happened. The funny thing was like, there was like a bag, there was like a plastic bag right next to it. So I was like, did you even make an attempt to catch it, or did you just, I don't know. There is a camera right there too.
Yeah.
I haven't asked for the footage because I don't necessarily want to see someone just like taking a dump in front of the door, but you know, I'm not sure if maybe the other tenants want me to be talking about this situation.
Okay. No, it's okay. This is a safe space. You can air your, you know.
Talk about unexpected, having to like stare down another human's feces and figure out, okay, what's the next step here? Because
not on this poop. The next step.
Yeah, exactly. Because I almost did. Because like I was like, why are all these flies here? Oh my good, it was bad. But like I had my key out, stretched, and then I noticed. But yeah. So honestly, I want to give a shout out to there's this committee called the Ybor Yes Crew, and Yes is Ybor Environmental. What's the S stand for? I don't know, but Ybor Environmental something.
Sanitation? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. But the Yes team, they're super awesome. You'll see them. They walk around in yellow shirts that say Yes Team, and I think that's what they're there for, is to make sure that everything remains tidy after a big night. So I flagged. There's a gentleman named Monty who is part of the Yes team, and I think he's maybe one of the head Yes team members. And he stared at it with me and made a few poo-related puns and had a crew come and take care of it. So can't say enough nice things about the Yes team. But yeah, that's how to do it. I know how to do that now. I know how to figure out how to navigate a poo situation, which wasn't expecting I would have to do that. But
the poo situation was a new situation. And that has got to be the number 2 situation for most challenging things you have had to deal with, my friend.
I think.
I mean, I had to take my own crack at the poo pun. Poo pun!
Gotta do it.
But is it a gray poo pun?
I hope not.
Okay. We got a mustard joke. When you said the thing about the plastic bag, I was like, the bag was right there. I think there was meditation on the bag, like, can I get the poop in the bag? But like, close but no cigar, which is kind of an Ybor City pun, because like cigars, okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
Thank you. But great answers. Yeah, the bureaucracy. I think most folks. So you knew about it probably going into it. I mean, you probably dealt with grant writing and things like that. There are a lot of hoops to jump through, but until you're in it and you get that brick and mortar, it's like, oh man, I have an address now. Like, there's so much more to this. And why don't we have a government.com where it's all like neatly filed away and like that'd be tight. It's the 20th. I was about to say 23rd century, but it's not yet. Maybe by the 23rd century, the government will have that app figured out. But appreciate the insights there.
sure.
A couple more questions for you. What is the proudest moment so far? And I know there are many. You might not be able to pick one, but it's not a place, it's the people, the living room of the arts discussion at Tampa. What's one of your proudest moments of something you've seen happen since you got the keys to the kingdom?
Oh my gosh, proud moments. Yeah, there really have been so many. I want to say the one that sticks out to me. I really like when I can allow someone to have like an emotional experience in the room. So my friend Ivana Kahina, who's a photographer, we had a solo show of her work in the gallery, and it was all about a trip that she took to Nicaragua, which is where her family's from. And a lot of the images had her family members in them. And to see an artist's whole family come to the gallery, like enter the room, take time with the pieces, and almost everyone that was a part of it like ended up crying that night. That was like truly one of the most touching, one of the most rewarding shows that I've done so far, because of how meaningful it was to everyone that like attended and saw it. There was like a beautiful moment where her great aunt, who was like, I kind of positioned the photo of her as like the centerpiece, because she is this like matriarchal figure for the family. And Vaughn didn't know that she was going to be able to make it to the show, because I believe she lives in Miami. So the way that the gallery is situated, like it's at the end of a hallway, and I just happened to be in the hallway and watch this woman like walk towards the gallery down the hallway, and like every few steps someone else would notice that she was there, and everybody knew like the significance of her being there. And it was like this, almost like this procession of this woman to like find her great niece and like see herself in the room and like have this experience. And just it was just like a really magical thing that happened.
Yeah. Do you have the stream on your phone? I'm wondering. I don't know if I was able to make it to this show, but I may have found the image from your Instagram
Okay.
on the wall, and I have it on full screen. But I wanted to see if this was the image on the right hand side of like sort of the centerpiece of the show.
So that one is not it. But I think if you go on my personal one, I think like the second image is from that show on my personal page.
I was prepared. There it is. Nice. Yeah, that's the big wall.
Yes. Yeah.
I see.
So that's right there.
Wow. That's awesome. And I saw a lot of other people who weren't even like direct family who did get to go to that show, also really got a lot from it and really appreciated it. And they expressed that online since I didn't get to go. Secondhand joy though. So that's awesome. Really good answer, seriously. Next question for you, buddy. What other galleries and spaces in Tampa, or just we'll keep it to Florida? So you could sort of hone in on Tampa Bay, or if you've traveled to Miami, North Florida, South Florida, anywhere, Central Florida, what other spaces do you really love and appreciate as a fan of art that you'd love to shout out in the show?
Oh my gosh. We're gonna be here forever.
Right.
No, honestly, I love every space that like I've been fortunate to be invited to be part of. You know, here in the Crest, like Tempest Projects is just an anchor for the community, right? They've been doing it for 13 years. Tracy Medulla is like, you know, the art queen of the city. So like, shout out to Tempest Projects, of course. Parachute Gallery, Jessica Todd is really just like firing on all cylinders. You know, she runs her gallery. It's a little more craft focused, but I mean the quality of everything is just insane. Definitely check that out. Um, Jenny Carey is here running a studio / gallery called Gratis. That's phenomenal. Kim Raditz is an artist, but is treating her space also like a viewing room. So like that's super cool here in the building. Quaid, I'm still a member of Quaid. Quaid has a gallery here in the building. Super awesome. Um, I really hope I don't forget a gallery that's here, and that would be but outside of this building, the Hive in St. Pete. If anyone's been to the Hive, it's a clay studio, and I think they've expanded now to be even more than clay studios. But it's primarily like a ceramic studio, but they have a gallery that's been sort of championed and run by Emmett Freeman, who like is making it an art destination in and of itself, even if you don't have a studio there, by inviting artists, putting out open calls, having really awesome shows. Been fortunate to be part of a couple of shows there. Eris Gallery at the Factory, Finn Schultz is really doing amazing things, making space for like contemporary art that is, you know, actually part of like the wider national contemporary art discourse, which is like super important. That's like a goal of mine, is to like cultivate and establish the artists that are working here to like be part of a larger conversation. And that only happens when there are spaces that are part of the larger conversation as well. So like Eris Gallery, super important. All the museums here, St. Pete MFA, Tampa Museum of Art, like every there's so many great ways to experience art in the city that like it's almost a shame that like there aren't designated days for everything. Like whenever there's a big event, I love it, and I'm also just like, oh, but I would love to have seen the 5 other things that are going on that night, you know.
Yeah.
I ran into that last weekend because or was it last weekend or the weekend before, but I was hosting an event here, helping host an event with Screen Door and Tampa DSA. And, but it was also an opening for Chad Mize's new space, which is called Space.
Right.
And he's running that quarterly with shows quarterly, but inviting, you know, a ton of the best artists in the city. It's like the 2, I went to the first one, I was part of the first one, and like super proud to be part of the first one. But then from everything that I've seen and heard about the second show that just occurred,
Hotbox?
yes, it's like a giant celebration every time. And I think that's so smart to make it quarterly so that it is this like, oh, this is the thing not to be missed, you know?
Yeah.
It brings out just like everyone in the city to come and look at art and like party around art. That's incredible. So like Space is an incredible space. And in Sarasota, there's a gallery called Spaces, which is also an incredible space. So shout out to them. And yeah, I believe I just learned they're expanding as well. So they're going to have an even bigger space. So like the spaces, everything just keeps getting better. You know, I can't say enough good things about space around here.
Art is in. I think we can call it tonight. I hope it was never out of fashion. I don't think it was, but art, it's a good time to be an artist and a fan of art, especially in Central Florida. So that's awesome to hear. I didn't even know about Spaces Sarasota, but we've been kind of pining to go back to Sarasota. It's been a minute, been a year or two actually. So we will have to check them out when we're down there. I appreciate the tip.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. A few more questions for you.
Please.
And then we'll wrap this thing. We'll put a bow on it. But I am a really big fan of the names that you have come up with for shows, for art, for the space. And I'm kind of wondering, I'm a sucker for like band names. I have like a notes app, that's like probably you're sore, your thumb will get sore. You just keep scrolling all these crappy band names that I've come up with over the years. What's your process for naming either art or a space, exhibition? Are they shower thoughts? Do they come to you in visions? Do you discuss it with friends? Do you also have that long notes file on your phone? Like, how do you name things in your art?
That's a great question, actually. I do have a note in the notes app, but I have to say, like, they might start there, but then there's a whole process of like just kind of being aware of what's already been existing. There, like, for example, I was going to my first show in this room, which actually was wrestling themed. So bringing back the wrestling idea, because I wanted it to be about kayfabe, but at the same time, or like around the same time, there was another artist that's like more established and like national artist, who had put out like a series of videos that was also like about pro wrestling. So like I had to go a little bit more niche with my wrestling knowledge and like pull wrestling language that like only like wrestling people, I mean, maybe not only, but like I went a little bit more niche so that I could avoid like having a similarity with this other artist, just in case anyone was paying attention to both of us.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it too. A lot of it just comes from me. I think the like experiencing the world and like consuming the world is so important for artists like in general, but it's super important for me to like be able to come up with things that way, especially written things like titles, because I want to be exposed to quotes or ideas or books or things that come up in podcasts or things that are said in movies, because I can then pull from those things and like flesh out a whole idea surrounding that concept.
Yeah.
So that's always something that like is identifiable, and then it becomes like sort of way to teach about other concepts because it has that anchor in something that already exists. So then people can be like, oh, you're talking about this thing and I can connect that to this thing, and maybe that can connect that to like the whole room,
What were you kind of just alluded to this at the top of the answer, but what was the short list for other names for the space if you had to really narrow it down? Maybe this one really stuck with you from the start, but I didn't know if there was other names in consideration.
Like for the space or for different shows, which
for the space itself, yeah.
Oh, well, the space itself, honestly, there's really no good reason for it to be called the space. I'm referencing my own like cockamamie idea when I made it this thing, and I don't want to give too much away about my future plans, but
yeah.
Now looking back on like that decision process, it's kind of, I'm justifying a whole lot of my thoughts lately with the thought that I made previously. So basically, the last solo show I did before starting the gallery, it was like all about me, and it was the first time I was doing a body of work, like making a body of work that was more explicitly like about me and my body, like body of work about body of work about who I am. And I had made these shirts. I wanted to make shirts because part of the show is like about merchandising and selling yourself. And I had made a logo for myself. And I had a color scheme picked out, and I basically had everything I needed to make a shirt, except for I didn't have any good thing to put on the front of it. I just had my logo that I had made that I knew was going to go on the back. So in an effort to like basically just fill space. I was like, these shirts that kind of look like, you know, a little bit like a zookeeper shirt, that kind of look like maybe like a municipal division kind of shirt, because they were like tan, and the colors I used were like green, blue, yellow, like very standard. So I was like, what can I put on the front of this shirt to like make it seem like I am a bigger artist than I actually am? You know, how can I be like a little bit arrogant in addition to having like my logo and name on the back of this? Like, how can I take it to the next level? So my idea was, let me invent a fictional like government agency, and then like it would be like the official sponsor of me as an artist, like, and kind of complete the thought. So the fictitious agency I came up with was Department of Contemporary Art, Tampa, Florida. And then when I knew I was like going to have a space, I was like, well, what else could I name it but the Department of Contemporary Art, Tampa, Florida? Because I already have like 10 shirts left over. So I can, you know, make that work, you know.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
That's awesome. I honestly remember being at that show, Narcissus? Was that the name of it?
That's the name, yeah.
That's awesome. I remember being at that show and seeing those shirts, and at the time I didn't necessarily know what the logo meant, the Depth of Contemporary Art Tampa. I was like, that's kind of a funny thing to... I don't know what that means yet, but now I'm finally very late having the kind of the full circle, seeing what you... I see what you did there. That's really cool. That's awesome. And that's like our favorite shirt. Mia wears that shirt all the time. We have the hat. Another thing I need to commend you on, the merch game is strong. The DoCA merch, I don't know. I've seen other people wear them, like at cafes around town, at the beach. So you design them, you're killing it.
I do. That's some of my favorite stuff, honestly. I cannot tell you how like grateful I am that people like it, and not just like it and buy it, but they like wear it. Like when I see it in the wild, I'm like, thank you for like spreading this around. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed sometimes by like the support I get. So thanks everyone.
We love you, seriously, yeah. And again, folks, in the chat, probably another 10, 15 minutes or so chilling with Emiliano. If you have any final burning questions, where we're live and anything can happen, throw us a monkey wrench. Just mess up the Rube Goldberg machine that is .com Doom and surprise us. Throw us your final questions, but we do love you. You're doing amazing work, Emiliano. I want you to know it. I want you to feel it in your tenderloins of your heart.
Thank you.
Of course. A couple more quick questions for you. This one's a fun one. A desert island question. As an art curator, right? You have to put a show together tomorrow. You can only take one or two tools to help you put this darn show together on this awful timeline, crunch mode. What are those two tools that a plebe, like a noob, a random dude off the street, probably might not even know, but to you it's like, no, this like toothpick got me through it. Like, what are the tools as an art curator that you would bring to the desert island?
Oh boy.
One or two.
I would say a tape measure and a roll of blue tape, roll of painter's tape.
Is that for paint, the painter's tape? Like if you're doing lines and framing, or is that just straight edge?
It's for everything. I can't tell you how many uses I've had for blue tape. I mean, blue tape is, it's really, it saves me a lot of time not having to like, basically blue tape, anything you need to mark, but you need to not leave a mark, blue tape. Anything you need to like mask out, blue tape. Anything you need to like stick to the wall for like 10 seconds just so you can like hammer whatever you need to, like blue tape. Like blue tape, can't say enough nice things about blue tape. One of my top three inventions in the world. Like the 3M company, I'm sure they've made a lot of like horrible things, but they made blue tape. Blue tape is great.
What's your least favorite color, Emiliano?
Least favorite color?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I like all the. I like color. I'm a color person. I
That's
feel like
okay.
if I say a color, like the colors will know, and then like revoke my authority to use them ever. And that, like I can't diss a color. Like a color is.
Is there a pattern like houndstooth, argyle? Is there like a pattern that you think is kind of fugly?
Oh boy. No, but I like fugly. Fugly is my bread and butter. Like that's my thing.
Woo! Put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah, fugly is my bread and butter. That's what it means. Yeah.
Oh man. I guess I was gonna ask if blue tape was your least favorite color, will you still love it? And the answer is probably yes, because it's the utility of the thing, not really. Oh, make an appearance! Round of applause, everyone. You can't hear it. When you watch this episode later, you'll hear all the sound effects. Oh, it's on its head! You're crazy! You little rascal, you're out of control. Cannot be contained. Cannot be contained. Oh
See,
my god.
that's how necessary blue tape is. That it's always within like an arm's reach in the gallery for me. Like I just have to have it. You know?
I wrote that song about blue tape, just in case y'all didn't get it. It was hidden meaning. It was also very I just said I love you, blue. You probably couldn't hear the lyrics. They're in the liner notes. Read your liner notes. But Emiliano, last question or two. I'm doing this because I lost my place in the notes. I'm buying time. There it is. All right. What's the funniest thing you've overheard while being on duty? Holding down the spot. People didn't necessarily know you were there or listening. Just lovely patrons coming in to check out the art, and boom, they just dropped a truth bomb about something else going on in their life or about the art. Just, is there something that someone said since you've had the space where you're like, oh my god, I have to laugh? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think. That's a tough one. I do spend a lot of time eavesdropping, but usually it's, usually it's not very spicy. Usually it's not that exciting. I really don't know if I actually have an answer to that.
That's okay. I'll ask you again next year.
It is funny. I like not necessarily in my space, but I like now we're at the point where the building is known enough that like if I'm standing outside like on the ground level, on the street level, I will hear people like walk by and try to explain what's happening in the building to whoever they're walking with.
Yeah.
So sometimes I guess that's like a little funny. Like I don't know about an actual instance, but I feel like recently someone was talking about oh yeah, like there's art in there and like there's also a yarn store, because there is a yarn store, but like the way that like that transition was like there's like a museum in an art store, in a yarn store, and you're like, yes, it is. Like, so I like that we are this like quirky building where all these things can coexist. But yeah, I really, maybe I'll have an answer to that if I keep thinking onto another question. But yeah.
Sometimes there's a poop.
Yeah, well that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just funny. That's a conversation that was left there for me,
Nice. Oh man, the golden poop. So check it out. For this last section, the last question proper that I'll toss your way, and it'll be the last thing, kind of how we close things out. Mia Makes It in the chat wants to know if there are any teeny tiny microscopic tidbit hints about future of DoCA. A show, the next show that you can talk about. If you can't, that's also an answer. We totally understand. No peer pressure. Peer pressure bad. So be thinking about that, what you can say. But first, I wanted to pitch you some ideas for some shows at DoCA, and you can react. You can tell them they're mid, they're trash, they're great. You can steal them. You can just forget about them as soon as I say them. I leave that to your discretion. But let me see. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Okay. So, my first idea for a DoCA exhibition is it's just an empty room, okay? I'm actually gonna change my camera view. It's just an empty room. And then over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, it's like the purge. There's no rules. You got crayons on the floor, you got blue tape, you got paint, a projector, and people can kind of come in and use their faculties to just put crap on the walls. And then at the end of the 2 or 3 weeks, whatever's there, you know, like poop and all, that's the art. You know what I'm saying? First idea. Give me your thoughts.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. That was my shower thought today, basically. Well, not quite exactly how you phrased it, but
Less poop.
the essence of that idea, I think down the road, that's kind of how I want to steer the direction. I still want to have exhibitions fairly regularly, but I think I want to lean into being more of like a collaborative situation where like an artist comes to me with an idea and like we just work together with like the artist to do the idea. And if the idea results in an exhibition, it results in an exhibition. If the idea is just for like one piece and we just put it in the room and then it's photographed and that's that. But like to not be so regimented in like this show lasts from this time of the month to this time of the month and people can come see it. And this, I think I want it to be more of a, hey, we're working on this thing. It's finally ready. You have 3 days to come look at it. If after that, like we'll take pictures of it, it'll live on. It might be in another show in some other gallery somewhere else, but like this was the project we did at Department of Contemporary Art, you know.
That sort of reminds me just a teeny bit of the mystery series you did of there's a thing in the room, it's one thing, you have to buy a ticket to check out, get that first-hand experience of the reveal of the thing, and it's only there for like a week and then it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of this room being like as much right now I've been positioning it as like a tiny museum, but I want it to also be like a tiny art laboratory as well. And I think that honestly opens me up to being able to work with even more artists than I've been able to work with so far. And I feel like I've been working with a lot of artists and like that's what I enjoy most about it is being able to like basically become friends with, you know, every person that I think is making cool stuff around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like the future of it, I think leaning towards like a more laboratory type concept or like incubator type concept of, you know, this room has what's necessary for something to look like it's in a museum or like it's in a traditional gallery. Let's use that to be able to try out like the wildest ideas that people have.
The wildest ideas. The wildest. Nice.
Okay. My next pitch to you is the opposite. So everything must go. A cozy, crapful room of a bunch of art. You know, all your artist friends are clearing out their inventory. They said, I have these prints, I have these old paintings, I don't want them. And instead of throwing them out, everyone clutters the room with this stuff. But there's kind of a little twist to this. Everything must go, but people don't get the stuff with money. People aren't bidding with money, but you have to bid with art. So you have to like put an idea or a poem in the box underneath that art and then put your email. So it's kind of like an art exchange where the artist is like, oh, you want my big painting that I don't want? Write me a poem and I'll pick my favorite poem and that person wins my painting. So at the start of the exhibit, if you get there on opening night, full house. It's more art than the eye can see. And then by the end of, again, that amount of time, all the art could be taken for free if people want to put the time and effort to putting an idea in the box that the artist in exchange trades them. And then, I don't know. What do you think of this?
I like it. You're coming up with a lot of great ideas, and I need to probably write it down. But yeah, no, I'm not really ever motivated by money. That's a little bit of a privileged statement to make, but no, I would prefer if there was no money, and I would prefer if we were beyond all this. But I love that. I love the idea of taking art, leaving art.
Yeah, my only currency is DoCA dollars. All other money, it's dead to me. So.
Oh yeah.
That is a thing. If you go check out the Department of Contemporary Art Tampa's Instagram page, hit that what's it called? The link tree in the bio. There is a Patreon for there's a Patreon where you can sign up, give as little or as much as you're able to support the space. A very cool thing. And if you contribute enough, you get department dollars, and you get so many a month that you can spend on like merch or other fun stuff. So check that out if you also want to adapt DoCA dollars as your main source of currency. But the last pitch I have to you tonight, good friend, a show where all of the art, maybe. Don't ask me how. I haven't figured that part out yet. Maybe lots of blue tape will be involved, but all the art slowly comes to life, right? Like you're there, the art's in one place. By the end of the night, it's in a different place. Creepy stuff starts happening. Can't be explained. Like what looked like a statue is like slowly moving the whole time. Emiliano, I actually cooked up a graphic I want to show you to go with this pitch. Okay, so if you pull up the stream on your phone, let me change my view. Here it is! I'm effectively calling it Night at the I can't even say the name of the Night at the There it is.
That's epic. That is incredible.
Do you remember this film from back in the day?
I saw it in theaters with my grandmother, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, we were there day one. It was kind of like staple childhood movie, top 10 in my book. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if all the stuff in your space could literally just walk away. I mean, for you, that would suck. Like, I would not want your job. I would not envy your job, keeping all of the toys in their basket. But I don't know if that ever happens. Call the Ghostbusters and then call us up because we'll get some tape.
If it ever happens, I'm using this graphic.
Okay. Yeah, I told you so. I jinxed it. I spilled some fairy dust. This is a confession. Last time I was there, I spilled some fairy dust, and I know that when you leave, Toy Story 4 happens, and all the toys just do antics.
It's funny you mention it because for the show I did in April, Beauty and Climax, my good friend and also one of my favorite artists around, Kenny Jensen, he had some artwork that had smaller objects kind of resting on picture frames, and he brought in an additional item himself, and throughout the night was moving that thing around. It was I believe it was an old floppy disk, and that floppy disk was on a different frame every 15 minutes. Sometimes it was on the ground, sometimes it was so it happens. I can say the art does become a living object sometimes in this room.
That's amazing. There's something about it, something in the air. Man, this has been a hoot. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. Everyone, make some noise. Emiliano! Woo! You're the best. If one of these days I'll hit you up. We'll make some merch collab. I'll go half and half on next t-shirt run with you.
Heck yeah.
I love to hear that you love making merch. It's a fun thing. But you're so amazing. Everyone, please check out Emiliano's socials. Go check out the Department of Contemporary Art if you live in Tampa or can visit. Really an amazing person. My favorite artist and curator in Tampa. I really appreciate your time, good sir.
Thank you. It's been a blast.
I hope you.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. The joy's all ours. Have a good night, Emiliano. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Woo! Yeah! I'm just kidding. That was awesome. I've been looking forward to that for a minute. If you have an idea, you know what? It's that part of the show, actually. Emiliano is Ben Stiller. This is breaking news. Emiliano is Ben Stiller. Or is Ben Stiller Emiliano? I don't know. You're just going to have to go to the Department of Contemporary Art Tampa. First time I got it right, I think. Check it out. Find the answers. Emiliano is national treasure. Nicolas Cage, move aside. The secrets of the United States, they're guarding it. I know he's Ben Stiller, but we just need to know if Ben Stiller is him, okay? We're going to get to the bottom of it. Earth is flat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't actually believe that Earth is flat, but Emiliano, he might be Ben Stiller. So, I love you guys. I'm going to check the email super fast just to check and see if we have any more dogs, more cats, more dogs, more cats. Where's the cat button? There it is. But if you have any final questions, suggestions, requestions, that's how I say requests now. If you have any of those things, throw them. Toss them! What's the move? What's the wrestling word? Punch them into the chat. And also hit the subscribe button, and the like button, and the dislike button, and the chat button, and the live stream button. Alchemist, you're the bee's knees. Mia makes it. You sing to my heart. Who else was here? Pancakes with your mind being blown up. All of you guys. We're going to sign off in 5 minutes after we look at some pets. So with that, if you have any final thoughts to share with the whole earth, throw them in that chat right there, because I have a special thing to show you right now. From last week, here's one image of a pet that was submitted that I did not show last week because I missed it. I just was doing something else, booping and bopping and all that jazz.
I was doing other stuff, man. I was preoccupied.
But for real,
this, oh my god, I made it bigger. This is a wonderful thing to see. We love a pet that isn't just a dog or a cat or a goldfish. Sometimes it can be your twin brother. Oh! We're zooming into the nucleus, the powerhouse of the cell. Oh, I can see his cells! So that's kind of fun. Creepy. Let me zoom in. Let me move down. Okay. Smile. He's smiling. You couldn't see it when I was zoomed all the way out. But there's our pet number 1, folks. Let me do that. Let me do this. And I will show you a couple more pets. My brother sent a picture of this. And it's Yosh. So that's fun. If you had a pet, Yosh, I'm going to your house.
I'm going to your house.
Pet Yoshi! Pet Yoshi. So that's a Pet Yoshi for you.
What else? I think there's at least one more pet that I need to show to catch up. And if you want to get your pet on the show, this is definitely your last chance, okay? Yeah? Yeah? It's your last chance. I'm checking the email right now. You got like 120 seconds before we sign off forever. Until next week. The last pet, potentially, to show you all, is from friend of the show, Ellie. Ellie was tuned in last week. Ellie does not have pets, you see, so this was kind of a fun little twist. So Ellie just took some pics, excuse me, of friends of pets. You got your pets, and then you got the friends, okay? That's the friend of the pet. That's who we're going to show you. Because Ellie does not have pets to themselves. So, here we go. That's adorable. Not forever, Alchemist, because you asked. Oh, wait. Oh, just yeah, so I disappeared in the top left, but then I reappeared. It's my only superpower. We got a pet. We got a pet right here. Question: what is your mile time? Yeah. I will answer that question if you don't mind me asking a follow-up question. Perchance, Alchemist, dear friend of the show, what do you mean by mile time? Do you mean mile time for .com Doom in some sense? If you can expand upon your question, I will toss you an answer, because I don't know if I immediately understand it, but I want to. So let me know what you think. It's a good pet. It's real cute. It's nice and safe and secure. Got that tactical vest on. What else we got? We got a cutie little furry buddy here and their little owl friend. We're in a little, they must be in a cold climate. That's all I gotta say about that. That would not be, the dog would not be wearing, the owl would not be wearing a beanie in Florida. Very cute. Very cute. What else we got? Whoa! A striking, handsome puppy with the cool dual eye, the Matrix red pill eyeballs. Very cute. I love that when dogs have distinct irises, or whatever the word is. It's very different. It's unique. Why have one eye color when you can have two? Am I right? Am I right? Oh my gosh! Anyway. What else we got? Oh, we got another dog. We got a cutie little puppy out in nature. That's good. We know the puppies love nature. Doing the tongue thing. And I love it. Here you go, little bud. Here you go. Keep being cute. We got any more pets? We do! Another little hairy buddy. Gotta love a little hairy buddy. Full frame. Memeing it. Cheesing. There it is. Oh, new LinkedIn profile picture. I'm gonna make this. Natsu! Oh! Natsu's in the house, everybody.
Natsu!
It's not so. It's not. It's
My mic was muted for a lot of that, so I'll say it again. Natsu is doing the damn thing in Florida, in Tampa. If you live here, go check out the Natsu Sidetracked in Tampa tour. Just played King State. This weekend, Natsu will be at La Satima Club in Ybor City. I'm trying to go to that one, Natsu. Couldn't catch the other two, but I want to go to that one. So I will see you there. World and Natsu. Go check out La Satima Club this weekend, Saturday night. Gonna be a rap concert with a band. We got Reese there, New Prince of the South. Very good rapper. And I think there's also like a jazz duo that's gonna play. So in spades, you got good art. For free, La Satima.
This weekend.
You can't miss it. You gotta go. It's the event of the weekend. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna beat you to it. I'm gonna walk in just like, looking like something is wrong, and you're gonna have to console me with rhymes and raps. Y'all are gonna want to see that. So go check out Natsu Sidetracked and Tempator La Satima this Sat. It's gonna be fat! P-H-A-T, fat! We want you there. Almost as fat as this dog. P-H-A-T, fat. Look at it. It's got the teeth. Look at the teeth! It's got the nose. Got a little moist nose. It's in a park. Barking in a park. This is what dogs want to come. Glizzy McGuire's in the house, and they'll be there this weekend. Alchemist says, what is .com Doom's max speed on skates, bikes, bus, wheels? Oh, man. Back when I used to live on a college campus, and I longboarded or skateboarded everywhere, dude, I'm talking a hundo. Zip, zop, zooming, Need for Speed, Fast, and Furious, pissed off. I was all over the place. Could probably hit 20 miles an hour on that skateboard, maybe faster. Because there are a lot of hills on USF's campus where I went to school. And so if you went to the top of the hill, and you got real compact like, and you got your fastest, most lubed longboard, man, you would go screaming down those hills. Yes, Natsu, we are actually reviewing dogs right now. So if you or anyone else you know wants to send a dog in for consideration, I'll just leave this email on the screen. I'm gonna get a little slouch.
It's the dog review show.
It's the dog review show. .com Doom show, more like dog review show, am I right, everybody? Come on. You already know. But yes, if you want your dog to be world famous and seen by 5 people, 5 coolest people in town, send it to that email. We'll get them on screen. I think there's a few more before we wrap tonight's episode. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna do this. Actually, no more dogs. Sorry to end on a sour note. I thought there was one more dog in the inbox. Let me just double check. Yes, at this point, I think there's a dog shortage, actually. Supply chain, I know. It's sad. But next week, we'll get it all sorted out. More dogs, more kitties here in the city. Oh my god, it will be pretty. Not shitty. Thank you very much. .com Doom. Stay tuned. What are the things I gotta say to sign off? Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. Answer the poll. Actually, I'm gonna take a look at the poll. That'll be a fun thing. I asked you, fine folks, art is ... community, life, love, or something else. Well, tonight, folks, we got more pets. We're gonna do that right after this. Tonight, we can scientifically determine. I think I can show this. Oh yeah. Let's see. Let us see, folks. It's official. Art is love, man. It's also a little bit of community in life, and apparently something else okay. But the folks, voting is closed. Art is love. And tonight we created love. I was gonna say tonight we made love, but no, I won't say that. Check it out. Look at this art we made for Emiliano when he was on. If that's not love, I don't know what is love. I'm gonna do a this, so I can do a that. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna see if there's one more pet. And then we'll get one more pet, and then we get one more pet, and then we get one more pet, and then we get one more get. Oh snap! We got one more pet. It's happening! Oh my god. We have an abomination of an adorable thing of a pet of a thing. Alright, let's see. From Natsu himself, we got a pet friggin' pineapple twiggle stiggle figure puppy emoji. Natsu, do you have a name or do we have to hold a naming contest for this too? Because this thing's cute. This thing's too cute not to have a name, alright? We got the little twiggies. We got the little tongue. We got the pineapple. Oh, man. Gotta check its nucleuses. Make sure it's a good boy. Yeah, it's a good boy. That's hilarious. That's a crazy thing you made. Artiste Natsu in the house. Chat, let me know if you have a good name for this pet. Or else Natsu's gonna name it. Unnamed. Found him in a tree. So I think that means he's a Pokemon, actually. Just by the laws of picking up creatures from trees and calling them your own. But very cute. I love it a lot, actually. I'd love to come and put some pets on this pet. But 90 stars out of 2 stars. That's my honest review. Brutally honest review. Folks, I can't believe it. I have to believe it. We did another thing. In the book, on the website. Special thanks to Emiliano with the Department of Contemporary Art, Tampa. Such a cool space. Natsu, if you haven't been, you gotta go. It's thick, gnarly, rad. Down there in Ybor City. Maybe before, I don't know if there's open hours in the space this weekend or Saturday, but before or after your show at La Satima, peep some good art, get inspired. I'm sure you'll actually be on a tight schedule this Saturday. No sweats. Special shout out. Please caress the subscribe button if you give a hoot. I love doing this. I love you guys. See, the hearts were on the wall to boot. Always a good time. Always a good time. And we're going to see you next week with another guest. And I'm like 80% sure that I have them ready to go. And I bought a piece of their artwork recently. They're a visual artist. And they do murals in Ybor. And they've actually had art in Emiliano's gallery before. So that's a little hint. No names yet. But it's going to be tight. We want to see you there. Go check out Natsu this Saturday at La Satima. Peace.
Very cool. International business. Okay. So I'm truly winging this, making up questions off the top of my head. But I attended the event. It was a great success.